holding you back? Here we go. Live streaming. Yes. Morning. What's holding you back? What's stopping you from doing the thing? Now, I'm particularly thinking about authors getting onto stages, speakers getting onto stages for that matter. It's holding you back. Why the procrastination? Now, this will apply in other areas of life, but I'm thinking particularly in that area for today. Well, are you finding all sorts of other things to do rather than get on with what you know is going to get you closer to your goal of being on stage? Is it a goal of yours? Is it one of those, I know I must, but I really don't want to? Why? That's what I want you to invite you to dig into today. What is it that's holding you back? And I would suggest there's a blanket term, fear, but what of? Underneath that broad umbrella of fear, there are a number of sub-fears, if you will. That's like the surname corner, and underneath you've got all the family members. Excuse me. So I want to talk today about fear of failure. What if I fail? What if I get it wrong? I mean, I'm standing on stage. You've got all these questions coming up in your mind about what it might feel like, what it might look like. What if, what if, what if? What if I get up on stage and there's nobody there? What if I get up on stage and I make a total fool of myself? What if I get up on stage and freeze, forget my words? My voice dries up. My tech fails. What if? And you get into that spiral of anxiety, drama. Your breathing goes faster, your adrenaline is up, and that part of your subconscious which goes, ooh, danger, danger, pulls you back and goes, don't do it. Don't put yourself there. It's not worth it. Because they perceive that fight, flight, freeze mode perceives that you are in danger. So how do you work around that? I mean, that's a primeval reaction. We're hardwired to look out for danger. Because this is where your conscious mind goes to and the unconscious mind responds. Because the unconscious mind thinks, oh, well, whatever's going up in the conscious bit, that has to be true. I'm not going to question it. That's not my role. I just bring it about. So if conscious mind is going, I'm scared. What if I fail? Then the unconscious mind goes, hang on, we're getting a lot of physiological responses here. We're getting the adrenaline response. We're getting the stress response. This is not good. This is not good. Alert, alert, alert. Don't do it. And you don't. How do you get past it? It's all good and well identifying it. Great. That's a big start, actually. What is it you're scared of? Now, don't feel there's any judgment here because I'm just the same. That fear of failure is a big one. If you've been conditioned through life to be a success and you've experienced outside validation based on that success, you were the good girl, the good boy, the good student, the helpful person, and you only got responded to, you only got that validation, those positive strokes, when you did something right. Maybe you also got chastised, given a row, however you like to describe it, if you did fail. All that has been conditioned into you, probably from a very early age, a lot of it unconsciously. Hello, there's the unconscious again. So that when you are faced with something that is new, you go into what if, what if, what if, what if? Well, the thing is, you may fail. In the early stages, chances are you will. But that's okay. If you're going to be, but, yeah, but. Again, a reaction I recognize very well to new situations that I'm looking at and going, yes, but. Somebody offers me a solution and I go, yes, but. There again, I'm the fear of failure of actually listening and applying what they're suggesting, because I'd rather stay in my comfort zone. Actually, it's not comfortable. It's my familiar zone. It's very uncomfortable, which is why I want to get out of it. But the familiarity is safer than the unknown, because out there, I could fail. I wonder if you can relate. If this is your situation at the moment, I'm going to ask you to take a step back. Look at things that you have tackled, new things, and ask yourself, did I fail to start with? Were there occasions when I needed to pick myself up because I fell over? If it's something that you have mastered, like tying your shoelaces, if you're a driver, driving, learning to drive. Now, I learned to drive on a manual. So by the time you'd worked out the left and the right, because my laterality is a bit squiffy, left foot up, left, right foot down. Ooh, that was the clutch. So there had to be things going on down there. Then there was the mirror, the signaling, the maneuvering, so much to think about. And that was where I was grateful for dual control with my driving instructor, because sometimes you went, hang on. My point being, if there's anything now that you do with ease without even thinking about it, if you still got things that require shoelaces, I bet you don't think about it, do you? You don't have to go through the lift in and around the bed. You don't need to think about it. It's automatic because it's familiar. You've done it lots of times. So think about the things that you can do with ease and flow, and just don't even consider it. It's not a mental process anymore. What did you go through to achieve that level? You went through some times when it was not brilliant. Did you fail? Yes, you did. Did you get up again? Yes, you did. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it now. Talking, there's another one. So many childhood examples. Now, on that front of talking, if as a child you were a chatterbox, you had a lot to say for yourself, you may have been told to be quiet. You may have been told you're too much. And so you felt restricted, squashed. Remember I was talking about that outside validation? You weren't getting the outside validation that your voice mattered. Maybe that's what's holding you back at the moment. That fear of failure because you have been told, shush, hold your peace. So I'm going to invite you this week to really consider, dig into that fear of failure. When you think about getting on stage, and there's another one, what's your definition of stage? Is it that raised platform with a microphone in one hand and you spouting forth with people watching, listening? or not? Is that your idea of a stage? Is that where you're worried about? Is that the failure thought because you've not done it before? Or maybe you have been on stage as a teenager and something happened and it didn't work. You got ridiculed. That fear of failure is there. It happened once, it doesn't have to happen again. But that what if? So my invitation to you this week is to look at what it is that you're fearful of failing at. Let's be very specific. Let's nail it down. Because when you are aware of specifically what it is, then you can do something about it. This blanket fear of, what if I fail? Yes, is a wonderful catch-all, and it really will keep you in your familiar zone. Authors who are in that situation and are not publicizing their work, networking, marketing their work, because they're not talking about it, they're not speaking about it. What's that going to do for your bottom line? No sales or minimal sales. You're not getting your message out to the audiences, the wider audiences, which is why you wrote the book in the first place. So what if I fail at what specifically? I'm going to invite you to think into that this week. Journal on it. Do let me know what it is you're specifically fearful of failing at. Because then when we've got those things identified, you can work out what that script is. What are you telling yourself other than don't do it? There will be a specific script that you're running. Now, it might be deeply buried, as it has been for me in the past. But let's do some archaeology, investigate those internal scripts, because once you work that out, then you can flip that script to something more empowering. Instead of the, what if I fail at ... What if I succeed at? What would that feel like? What would that look like? What would that sound like? That's when you can future pace yourself. You can actually see yourself in your future doing what you're now fearful of. That's a very powerful tool to grasp. So I'd ask you to consider again what it is specifically you're fearful of. What are you fearful about failing at? Let's narrow it right down. Put a name on the little sucker so that we know what we're dealing with. I'll come back next week and we'll look at a different fear. Okay? For me, have a great week. Do let me know in the From Page to Stage Facebook group. If you're not a member of that group, give me a shout. Look it up on Facebook. It's an open group. If you're an author, you're looking to get on stages, that would be a place I highly recommend you hang out at. For now, guys, bye from me.